So after describing the 10 kinds of creations, out of which 6 of them were the primary, and then the remaining 4 are the secondary creations of Lord Brahma, then Maitreya Rishi talks about how the time is affecting and affecting the lives of all these different varieties of species that have been created, as well as how the time is bringing about changes within the created universe. So the time in itself cannot be measured directly, but one can perceive the presence of time through the effects on the material objects. So therefore, the effects of time one can see during the creation and annihilation. And in order to see that, one has to clearly talk about how exactly the time measurement can happen through the effects on the material objects. So therefore, Maitreya Muni begins his calculations from the indivisible and the most minute material object, which is the atom. So atom is Parama Anu, right? So Parama Anu, and it's also referred to as Parama Ashu. That is the Sanskrit word. So Parama means the supreme. So Ashu means the smallest. You know that in Sanskrit, when we use the term Ashu, that also means quickly. So Parama Ashu essentially means that it is the ultimate smallest. So therefore, atom, which is also kind of from the Greek world, we know that that had been referred to as the indivisible matter. But here we can see similarly, we are finding atom is the smallest, indivisible, and at the same time the supreme. So in other words, it's the supremely small atomic unit which actually allows you to measure time. So then now how exactly the measurement is established through the specific movements of atoms in space. So it is expressed that the primal unit of time is Truti, which is the length of time needed for 3 pairs, or you can say 6 double atoms, 3 pairs of double atoms or 6 atoms to combine. And then furthermore, from the Truti, the overall measurements of time are built up from the smallest to the largest measurement of time. So the smallest is basically Truti, and then it is going from the units are going from the smallest to the largest, which is now the length of the days of the demigods, which essentially is equivalent to 1 year of our time. So it goes like this, that 100 Trutis make a Veda, and 3 Vedas make 1 Lava. So in this way, Maitreya Muni is calculating from the smallest measurements to increasingly larger units of time until he is able to establish the units for the days, fortnights, months, years, leading up to the full day of the demigod. And after establishing that whole unit of measurement from the smallest to the largest, then Maitreya Muni notes that the lifetime of human beings has been fixed at 100 years. And then he connects with the connects the time with the ultimate frame of reference, And that ultimate frame of reference is ultimately Kala or Krishna's energy. So therefore, in the 13th verse, he points out that the influential stars, planets, luminaries, and atoms all over the universe are rotating in their respective orbits under the direction of the Supreme, represented by eternal Kala. So this particular verse is establishing the energy of Lord Krishna or Kala Shakti as the ultimate frame of reference, regardless of the range of movements from the smallest to the largest for the time factor. So therefore, Prabhupada is writing, in essence, in purport to text number 14, that the subject matters of physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, time and space dealt with in the above verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are certainly very interesting to students of the particular subject. But as far as we are concerned, we cannot explain them very thoroughly in terms of technical knowledge. The subject is summarized by the statement that above all the different branches of knowledge is the supreme control of Kala, the plenary representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing exists without him, and therefore everything, however wonderful it may be, it may appear to our meager knowledge, is but the work of the magical wand of the Supreme Lord. And in this particular purport itself, the whole summary of the units are given. And you can bookmark this particular verse and the purport that you can refer to for seeing how the calculations are scientifically happening. But overall, you can see the background arrangement is Krishna's Kala Shakti for anything that is happening in this material world. And then in order to study the effects of time, we need to develop a measurement of time. And therefore, this whole system of measurement has been developed. And in Vedic system, as you can see, it is more sophisticated. And therefore, the range that it covers is actually, that range is much higher than what the modern scientists are used to studying. And therefore, it starts with Truti, ranging all the way up to the measurement of the years of the demigods. So thank you very much. I hope it was okay for you to understand, because things are a bit technical in this section, as you can see. And it is, I find it astounding that here Parikshit Maharaj, who is about to die in 7 days, or had been cursed to die in 7 days, hearing from Shukadev Goswami, and likewise Vidura is on a pilgrimage tour, hearing from Maitreya Rishi in Haridwar, and the discussion is going through all these measurements of time and so on and so forth. Why I find it amazing that actually when it comes to study of Srimad Bhagavatam or discussing spiritual subject matters, the details are very important. So it is not that the subject matters are just left at a very, very abstraction level, that God created this world and we are done with it. But here the descriptions, as you can see, are very, very detailed and scientific. And therefore, we are to take the lesson that these discussions are important, because ultimately always a link with the magical hands of the Supreme Lord is established in every single discussion. And that is why these discussions have become so prominent, even though one person is dealing with the life's crisis, another person is hearing from Maitreya Rishi on his pilgrimage. So thank you very much.